wash that last night. Sorry.
No,
That's one of the cups I'm gonna wash to bring for tomorrow.
Yeah, I figured I'd get it soaking. It's all good.
I will have 3 coffees tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
Ow. I was way off. We have way more than 1 banana left.
How many bananas? Do we have enough for you to have one in the car too?
We have 4 bananas.
We have 4 bananas. We're banana rich, you guys.
I might make a smoothie for myself tomorrow night or tomorrow.
Tonight for tomorrow morning.
Yes.
You should. That's a good idea. Bananas is in here empty. Whoa, there's the banana. 2 in a ropes.
Really?
No, I'm teasing him. Good morning.
Oh, it's in ropes.
Oh my gosh. How dare you?
I also think it was inappropriate until you did. And then,
We need bananas for tomorrow morning for the race to make sure that my legs, are good. Have I missed your slime lives? Dawn, I don't know. That's totally possible, but I wouldn't be able to say one way or another. The weather in Tennessee is awful right now. Oh no.
there will always be another.
Yes, there will always be more slime lives. Don't worry. My mom woke up and said, you need to dress like an onion today. And I was like, I think she meant layers. That's funny. That's funny. I need to dress with layers tomorrow for sure.
She wants you to dress in your emotions is what she meant.
Oh, hey Liz. But this live is always a ray of sunshine. Oh, you're sweet. When did the Steelers play this weekend? I think...
Saturday at 10 a.m. Or Sunday at 10 a.m.
Sunday at 10 a.m., yeah. So we will be watching it.
Yeah.
We will be here. Hey, Des.
Maybe we'll go to the Steelers bar and watch it.
Maybe we'll go to the Steelers bar and watch
Get
it.
brunch. Mimosas.
Whoa. What a world. A world of opportunities.
We could do that, right?
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Informed Delivery says I should be getting my mail for the last 2 days. We haven't gotten any. Uh-oh. That's not good, Brittany. Yes, Secret Boyfriend's favorite team is the Steelers. Oh, you mean hockey team? No, he doesn't know any of the hockey team. Do you have a favorite hockey team?
When I was younger, I went to some Canadians games. I literally do not follow hockey on any level. Like, I follow the NBA a little bit, especially during the playoffs. Baseball, very tangentially, and everything with football. But hockey, I couldn't name one modern player.
Yeah, Penguins by proxy. I've definitely had slime lives this week, so I don't know why it's not giving you any notifications. Whoa, 5 straws. That's amazing, Becca. Yeah. She got 5 more mermaid straws for free. At least Timberwolves have a chance this year in the NBA. I don't know what that means. I guess so.
I'm not sure.
That's what she's saying.
This is not the time of year where I start paying attention. Yeah, it's a little bit early.
That's true, Becca.
Problem with the NBA is I don't like the players.
Why?
It's pretty big club. They're all divas and they get paid too much and they're jerks.
There was no book club yesterday. That's correct, because I was at Disneyland. There will also be no... I know, right, Jen? There will be no book club tomorrow because I will be running 10K tomorrow morning. And it will be at the time that we usually have book clubs, so there will be no book club tomorrow. Maybe when I get back, I'll have a slime live tomorrow evening, possibly, but no book club tomorrow. Book club will resume again on Monday after today. But if you guys want, I can send you guys my bib number, and you guys can watch me run the race. You can like see where I am along the little course, and you can be like, "Ooh, go Sasha." That's fair, Cindy, and that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I can put that in Patreon. I won't post it publicly, but I'll post it in Patreon, and Patreon people can track me. Yeah. Here you go, babe. Coffee. Hey Claire. Volume up. You know what, Kristen? I haven't 100%. Oh, that's amazing, Cindy. Okay, Cindy, will you email me that so that I can get you the other half? So, what was I going to say? Oh, the costume thing. I am between two costumes in my head right now. Basically, I'm gonna. Does it count if you're running a 10K if we watch you do it? Like this? Yeah, that's funny. That's very funny, Liz. Yesterday I was like, is Sasha dead because you didn't have a live? Yeah, I announced ahead that I wasn't gonna have a live yesterday. Because I was doing sunrise yoga at Disneyland yesterday. And tomorrow I won't be doing it because I'll be doing a 10K that starts at 5 a.m. But most of you are on the other coast, so it'll be normal for you.
Back to the live stream your run.
I don't think so. You distract me.
Why?
How am I supposed to pay attention to my run?
Just hold the phone in front of your face and run.
I don't know. I'd have to read the comments and the whole thing. It just, I won't be awake at 8 a.m. East Coast time. Not at all. That's okay. I can't believe how early you were up yesterday. Central time, you were still up before me. Yeah, I was up at 2:30 yesterday.
Waking up at tomorrow.
We are waking up at 2:30 tomorrow.
How tired are you? Right now.
Medium.
You are? You're tired right now?
Mediumly tired. Why?
I wish I could nap later then.
Yeah. Yeah, no reason to be sorry.
What? I mean, you had to have gotten at least 8 hours.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't make up for all the mess sleep.
No, but it's okay. I'll be alright. I'm not worried.
I'm too tired for the race tomorrow. I'll be sad.
Well, I'm gonna sleep tonight. Woo!
Yeah, I heard 8 hours tonight.
No, I'm not gonna get 8 hours tonight. But that's okay. There's a lot of adrenaline at the races. It will get me through, and then tomorrow we'll come home and we'll nap. That's what's up.
Get on the couch and we'll watch football and be lazy.
Whoa! Today is a work day. I started reading Land of Stories book 1 and I'm loving it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I wish I could read it all over again. Have it be the first time. Secret Boyfriend will be not running, but he will be at the finish line waiting for me.
I asked to run and they said, you're too fast. They said, make everyone else feel bad. And I said, that's not fair. But they didn't care. They would let me in.
I discovered the series by accident. I took Zoe to is my cup biodegradable? That's hilarious. I took Zoe to the park and they had a little library at the park and the book was in, that's what they told Sawyer too. Oh no. All right, we're gonna do a smoothie dance. Go ahead. So the little library had book 1 in it and I just grabbed it. No.
There you are. What are you doing?
I was making a joke.
What was the joke? Is it at my expense?
That's really funny. Apparently Miles announces his speed when he's running, so Becca told him the same thing they told you, that he's too fast for the race. Very funny. Very, very funny. So yeah, tomorrow morning I'll be running. Excuse me, I'm not going to respond to you. Oh, you're right. We do need to do that. Oh, no. Yes, the tree is reusable. It's true. We should start telling people how not everything needs to be recyclable if it's reusable. The tree is going to be used for many years to come.
Stop murdering the environment, Sasha.
I'm trying. You know what the funny thing about that whole thing is that if that had been a serious person, which we all know it wasn't, I probably would have taken the time to answer very thoughtfully, because you all know I take like my personal sustainability very seriously. It's very funny. That's why I was like, oh, you must be new here. You don't know me, because like I won't even drink out of a non-reusable coffee cup. You know what I mean? Like I was like, girl, you need to calm down. And a person is recyclable. Yeah, it's true. I know, it was so funny, Claire. And the other the thing is, the whole time I wasn't even engaging. I was just like, okay, Google. And she was like, are you ever going to answer me? I was like, okay, Google. The whole time, like I wasn't even fighting with her. It was very funny. And me, Liz? Cindy, you and Kurt. Did you guys see Kurt came in at the end and like went wild? Oh.
Stop Gross.
Your clear slime isn't clearing. Oh no. Correct, Cass. That's totally correct. But the funny thing about it was that she kept like freaking out about this slime, like worried about the amount of plastic I was pouring into it, but it was a Fimo slime. I was like, girl, those aren't plastic, it's clay. I kept trying to tell her that. She was like, how do you recycle that plastic? I was like, it's clay, it's clay. It's clay. Like there's no amount. You just I've activated your Google Home. I'm sorry. Like I kept trying to tell her like no amount of times you asking how to recycle the plastic and this is gonna turn it into plastic. I know. I was like, I need you to calm down. They're made out of clay. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Is clay recyclable? Yeah, you know, in its own weird way. No, Julia, definitely not. Kurt like went to town on her. It was very funny. The last sentence that he said to her, which literally sent me into hysterics laughing, was, "You look like a child with too many Stanley cups. Go touch grass." And I was like, oh my God. Too many Stanley cups. Go touch grass. It's a good insult. A great insult even.
Yeah, she's a hockey player. I get it.
Yes, that's correct, Cass. And she's a hockey player?
Their championship award is called the Stanley Cup.
Oh. Yep, exactly, Cass. Exactly. But also, it doesn't even have to be. Sometimes people just pick them up for the fun of it, which Kurt is amazing. Oh, it's true, Becca. It's true. Championship war. All right, friends, are we ready? Secret Boyfriend, are you playing Mario Maker?
Who's to say?
Oh.
Yes. They can really hear that.
No, I said it. Can you guys hear that he's playing? Yeah, Kristen, she just had issues. You know what I mean? What you guys have to understand is that anytime, of course, Becca, but I don't think she will. Wait, oh, you can't hear it. No, they can't hear it. There's a storm coming. I hope my plants survive. Oh, no. The funny thing about it is that girl totally made a bunch of my videos go viral, which is hysterical. Oh, you can hear the clicking? Okay, yeah. They can hear the clicking, but it's not a big deal. What is happening here, do we think? Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, so let's get to reading because we have a lot to do today. Oh, yeah, they have a Switch, so that's why she recognized it. I was amused. I know, hilarious. It was so funny. You're eating straight blue cheese while watching this. Are you secret boyfriend? Are you secretly secret boyfriend on an account? There's an account called Rainbow Slime Girl's #1 fan who's eating blue cheese right now. Is it you?
Unless I can imagine. I mean, you can see my screen. It's not me. It seems like it should be me.
It does seem like it should be you because secret boyfriend eats
co-opted my being.
Blue cheese with a spoon, literally, and also claims to be my #1 fan.
Jeez, competition. No good.
Yeah, weird. Also, I never thought you'd do masturbate. Oh, that's okay. I'll DM you back later. Don't worry. All right, so let's go ahead and get reading because we've got a lot to do today, including mailing more orders. Actually, by the end of today, almost all the Roll for Slime and custom people for the month will be done, which is pretty exciting. I only have 12 left total. The snow is missing us mostly, but we're -25 this weekend. Nope.
Too cold.
Can't do that. It's so good, Maddie. It's so good. Maddie, if you talk to Arbitrary Canary about it, Arbitrary Canary has had all 3 incarnations of my gasoline blend, and she said that this one is the best by far. Oh, you got it, Cass? What did you think? -36 this weekend. Jeez Louise. I'm supposed to move this month. Moving end of February now. This is final. It should be the new one. Is it the blue one, Hillary? Way too cold. I don't know why I live here. I don't know either. Yeah, it's pretty good. It is. It's getting closer every time. Yeah. It's funny because Arbitrary Canary, in the beginning, she was like, okay, it's good. And then I sent her the next one and she was like, I don't know, maybe. And then she sat with the second one for a few months and she was like, actually, I love it. And I was like, okay. And then I sent her the third one and she was like, forget it. I don't want anything but this ever again. And I was like, okay, so that means we're getting better. Where are y'all? My nose negatives, -2 at night and the weekends. Yeah, they're all in crazy places.
How well does your gasoline slime sell?
Very well.
It's so weird that so many people like
On Patreon, in this last set of Patreon people, I think it went out to 50 people by choice last time.
By choice.
Well, like, it wasn't, so, like, I gave, like, grab bag people the opportunity to trade their grab bag for it if they wanted. I gave Sparkle Pop people so it wasn't, like, on sale in the traditional way, but they got to choose to have that as their item of the month. Yeah.
You're not trying to force people into your cult.
No, I give them choices. I also offered them to have an unscented slime if they wanted, and I offered them a banana split scented slime if they wanted, or a peach scented slime if they wanted.
I can't imagine choosing gasoline scent over all those nice scents.
What's that, Lainey? I don't know what that means. You're in a stupid meeting. Oh no. Wait, what did I miss from Becca? I missed something. We have a huge storm looming for the weekend. It's because Sasha's the best small business. Oh, thank you. What is Saltburn? I don't know what that means.
Saltburn is a movie, right? Saltburn's a movie.
I love the 3 times I've gotten so far. I wanted gasoline, but I saw the unscented one and it was a must. That's totally fair, Amanda. Don't watch it. It's a movie. Yeah, Cass got gas and banana. She went above and beyond.
For it when we saw.
What is it?
I don't know. It was like rich kids in a mansion in Europe and some kid that doesn't belong, but they kind of bring him in, and then he like gets obsessed with them or something. I don't know. It seemed dumb.
I live where the air hurts my face because no deadly snakes or scorpions. Honestly, they tell us that there's deadly snakes and scorpions somewhere near here, but and the air doesn't hurt my face. If you want to be completely grossed out, watch it. I don't want to be completely grossed out.
Really? Yeah, I'm intrigued now.
Well, I don't want to be grossed out.
We'll watch it. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
We won't watch it.
No. We're going to read chapter 8, however. We have Earth Fixing Fire Scary. They made a candle and a cocktail inspired by it. Oh, I see what you're saying. It was okay. It was twisty, but not unexpected. Interesting.
It's a twist.
All right. Chapter 8. The Wrath of Smoky Sails Sam. Dun, dun, dun.
Gross.
Things were calm below decks on the Dalai Lama. Alex and Connor shared a small cell while Admiral Jacobson and his men occupied 4 larger ones. Everyone was silent, not from the embarrassment of defeat, but from the sheer exhaustion of the battle. In all fairness, the sailors didn't seem disappointed by their loss and sat rather comfortably in their cells. Many were stretched out and gently rocked to sleep by the sway of the ship. "Don't worry, men," Admiral Jacobson said as he paced around his cell. "We'll find a way off this vessel and bring the pirates to justice. Those criminals may imprison us now, but soon we shall escape and make the British Navy proud." The sailors looked around the cell to see whom the Admiral was talking to, because none of them were too worried or eager to change the situation. After months of strenuous labor operating the Royal Tantrum, imprisonment was a nice change of pace for them. "Save it, Admiral," Connor said. "The whole crew knows you've got the hots for Auburn Sally. No one's expecting to escape anytime soon." The Admiral was outraged by his insinuation. "How dare you suggest I welcomed the sinking of my ship or allowed pirates to capture my men?" he said. "I would never betray Britain with the affection for a scoundrel captain like Auburn Sally." Connor sighed and shook his head. "Raise your hand if you knew this was going to happen," he said. "Come on, don't be shy." He raised his hand and Alex quickly followed. One by one, the sailors raised their hands too, and the Admiral was faced with a rude awakening. Despite his efforts to shield it, his heart was on his sleeve, and it was just as visible as the badges of honor on his coat. "You mean you've all known this entire time?" he asked. The sailors nodded in unison with the twins. "To be honest, Admiral," the first mate said, "I don't think any of us knew you were trying to hide it. We don't hold it against you, though. The whole reason we joined the Navy in the first place was to have an adventure, and there's never been a dull moment chasing these dames around the sea." The Admiral wanted to argue further, but the jig was clearly up. Instead of clearing his reputation, he just shrugged and sat down on the floor. Well, I suppose that's a relief, then, Jacobson said. The Admiral lost all desire to form an escape plan. He put his feet up on the metal bars and enjoyed the quiet and calm of the cells with the rest of his crew. Connor, on the other hand, was growing more agitated by the second. His mission to locate and recruit his characters was going to be much more difficult than now that he had refused his sister's help. So what happens next in the story? Alex asked with a yawn. Well, Opera and Sally's going to invite Admiral Jacobs to dinner in her chambers, Connor said. They'll admit their affection for one another, and then Jacobson will convince his sailors to join Opera and Sally's crew of pirates. Nice, Alex said. And you still think that Starboardia isn't a love story? Connor grunted. All right, fine. It's a love story, he said. You've identified that your brother's a big sap. Are you happy now? Alex laughed. I don't know why it's so hard for you to admit it, she said. Plenty of men write romance. I never meant to write a romance, Connor said. I just thought that Jack and Goldilocks had a really cool story. Everyone wants to be a hero, but Jack gave it up to be with the person he loved. He didn't care what people thought of him. Goldilocks was more important to him than his reputation. It takes courage to face a giant, but it takes a true hero to stand up to the world. I guess I wanted to celebrate that by putting it in my own story. A smile grew on Alex's face as she listened to her brother. He kept his feelings hidden behind an emotional brick wall, but every so often, she managed to knock a hole through it and peek inside. You're not a sap, but you're definitely a hopeless romantic, she said. I think Mrs. Peters was right. You're going to learn a lot about yourself by traveling through these stories. Connor didn't want to agree with her, but he knew that she was right. Brother, he said. Next thing you know, I'll be collecting porcelain dolls and listening to polka music. The doors opened and Winking Wendy and Somersault Sydney walked in. They rattled the cell bars with their weapons to disturb their captives, but the tranquil sailors didn't even look up. The pirates unlocked the Admiral's cell and pulled him out by the ponytail. Ouch! Jacobson shouted. What is the meaning of this? The captain wants you to join her for dinner, Winking Wendy said. The sailors hooted and whistled, making Admiral blush. Winking Wendy flashed them her empty eye socket and they quieted down quickly.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
It's Wendy. The pirates unlocked the door of the twins' cell next. What's going on? Connor asked. Captain wants you two to join her in her cell as well, Somersault Sydney said. Connor wasn't expecting this. Up to this moment, every beat of the story had followed his writing without a hitch. He hoped it meant his warning about smoking sail Sam had caught the captain's attention. The pirates escorted the twins and the Admiral through the Dalai Lama to the upper deck. They opened a pair of double doors and pushed the twins and the Admiral into the captain's quarters. Okay, Becca. Auburn and Sally's private chambers were the most elegant part of the ship. The walls were covered in red paper and gold crown molding. A crystal chandelier hung over the long wooden table set for four. The captain looked like she was deep in thought when they arrived. She sat in the back of her chambers at a desk with several maps of the Caribbean Sea spread across it. She was sitting with one foot up and spun a dagger on the desk like a dreidel. Her hat and coat were hung on a rack beside the desk, exposing her full head of long wavy hair. Your guests, Captain, Winking Wendy said as she presented the twins and the Admiral. Thank you, Auburn Sally said. You may leave us. Winking Wendy and Somersault Sydney left the chamber, shutting the doors behind them. Connor had written the next part of the story as a romantic dinner between the captain and the Admiral, but obviously things had changed. As soon as they entered, Auburn Sally fixated on him with an inquisitive, unwavering stare. Since you seem to know everything, I imagine there's no point in pretending that the Admiral and I are adversaries, she said. Nope, Connor said. You guys are in a complicated long-distance relationship. Just for the record, Alex chimed in, I think it's very romantic. Connor gave his sister a dirty look. She was never going to let this go. The Admiral glanced between the twins and the captain, waiting for someone to fill him in. Will someone explain how this lad knows so much about us? He asked. Well, according to him, we're just characters in a story he's written, Auburn Sally said with amusement. He believes that everything in this world is just a figment of his imagination. Connor didn't appreciate the disdainful tone in her voice. The Admiral looked at him just like everyone else had after hearing this pronouncement. Have I done or said anything to contradict that? Connor asked, because I'm pretty sure I've been right about everything so far. Auburn Sally glared at him, and a challenging look came across her face. I have something hidden underneath my shirt, the captain said. "There are only 4 people alive who know it exists. 2 are in this room. One's the Queen of England. Guess correctly and I might take you more seriously." Connor knew exactly what she was referring to, and he didn't waste a minute to prove it. "You're wearing a necklace called a piece of jewelry in... Oh, wait. You're wearing a necklace called the Heart of the Caribbean." Oh, Connor. "You're wearing a necklace called the Heart of the Caribbean," he said. "It's the most prized piece of jewelry in the Western Hemisphere. It was given to Governor Conley by Queen Anne as a token of her appreciation for governing the small island of St. Helena." The intensity in Auburn Sally's face dissolved and her mouth fell open. She and the Admiral were completely dumbfounded. The captain pulled on a gold chain around her neck and lifted the large ruby necklace out of her blouse. The ruby was brighter than the crown molding than the chandelier put together. Connor pointed at the jewelry. "That's what you stole from Smoky Sail Sam," he said. "And you're wrong, by the way. There are 5 people alive who know it exists. 7 if you include me and my sister. A pirate named Killy Billy saw you steal it. He's the one who told Smoky Sail Sam you have it. And now Sam's on his way to take it back." Alex was usually really good about filling in the blanks, but the lack of detail was getting frustrating. "Would you mind sharing with the rest of the class who Smoky Sail Sam is?" she asked. Connor hesitated. He knew the story like the back of his hand. It just wasn't a pleasant one to share. "Smoky Sail Sam is the most feared pirate in the Caribbean," he explained. "He's so powerful the British Navy refuses to go anywhere near him. He has a fleet of 5 ships and of hundreds of pirates. His ships burn rows of torches above their sails, leaving trails of smoke through the sky. So the whole Caribbean knows where they've been and where they're headed. They obliterate any ship they encountered, whether it's a threat or not." Alex gulped. This was exactly the kind of villain she was afraid her brother would create. "He sounds charming," Alex said. "How did he become so powerful?" "Smoky Sail Sam used to be a slave," Connor said. "He was captured from an African village by slave traders and brought to the Caribbean on a slave ship. However, on the way over, he broke the chains that bound him and led all the other slaves to a mutiny. They killed the slave traders and took over the ship. Sam became their new captain and liberated the slaves, and they became his crew. He renamed the ship the Vengeance."
Sounds like a real bad guy.
Unfortunately, he didn't start bad, he became bad.
That's fair.
He obliterated ships in his way even if they weren't a threat. That's a bad guy. Unfortunately, the power went to Sam's head. He wanted to go home. His crew wanted to go home, but Sam wanted to continue on and seek more vengeance. He sailed the Vengeance, take more revenge. He sailed the Vengeance to a small island of St. Helena and ordered his men to raid it. Governor Conley sent word to the British Navy that they were under attack, but since the island was so small and valueless, the Navy abandoned them. The governor and all the men on St. Helena were killed, and their families were forced to work as servants. See, that's the bad part.
That's called slavery.
Yeah.
Forced to work as servants.
Yeah.
That's just slavery with another name.
Yeah, not good. Not good at all. Since there was no government or authority on St. Helena, criminals from all over the Caribbean sailed there and joined Sam. Soon he had enough men to form a fleet of pirate ships. They terrorized all the colonies nearby, growing stronger and stronger after every target they hit. The liberated slaves from the Vengeance wanted nothing to do with it, so they stole a ship from Sam's fleet and headed back to Africa. Sam was so outraged he sailed after them and sank their ship. The smoky debris from the destruction is how Sam became known as Smoky Sail Sam, and the whole Caribbean learned of his ruthlessness. As time went on, Smoky Sail Sam had a daughter named Samire. Governor Conley's only child, a girl named Christine, was forced to work as her maid. The young women became very close and loved each other like sisters. Samire helped Christine plan the escape from St. Helena. The Heart of the Caribbean was the only object of Governor Conley's that Smoky Sail Sam did not destroy, so Christine stole it back before she left. Didn't take long before Smoky Sail Sam realized that it was missing. To save her friend, Samire took the blame. Rather than showing his only child any mercy, Smoky Sail Sam made a gruesome example of her. He cut her throat in front of his entire fleet, further proving his brutality, and no one ever stole from him again. Christine escaped from the island and stole the Heart of the Caribbean and sold it to a jewel merchant. but then stole it back the following day. The money she had acquired in the sale was enough to buy her own ship and hire a crew, and she named the ship the Dalai Lama and became known throughout the Caribbean as Auburn Sally, Alex said, finishing her brother's sentence. Correct, Connor said. When Jacobson became the admiral, his first assignment was to capture the sailing thief, Auburn Sally. It was love at first sight, and they've been chasing each other around the Caribbean ever since. What the captain doesn't know is that Killy Billy told Smoking Sail Sam that he saw her steal the heart of the Caribbean. Sam's been following the Dalai Lama through the sea too, and is getting closer by the minute. Since Sally's the only person who's stolen something from him and lived to see another day, he wants to make another gruesome example out of her. Connor, that backstory is so dark. Why would you write something so dreadful? Alex asked. I told you, it was based on a nightmare I had, he said. Besides, it's not like real pirates were any better than this. Connor turned to Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobs with desperation in his eyes. Now do you believe that I created you? He asked. The captain and the admiral were both astonished by Connor's familiarity with their lives. Whoever he was, wherever he came from, they could no longer deny that there was something unique and kind of eerie about him. I believe you put pen to paper about all of this, but I'm not convinced that you created this world or the people in it, Auburn Sally said. Connor had rolled his eyes so many times that his sockets were getting sore. So you think I plagiarized it? He asked. Explorers are so quick to claim the places that they find, but they don't create the land they raise flags on, Auburn Sally said. Perhaps all writers are nothing more than the subconscious explorers sailing the seas of the other worlds, and you're just the first to discover ours. Alex was intrigued by the captain's theory. She wondered if every fictional story she had ever read was more of an author's discovery than his or her idea. Perhaps imagination was a subconscious map to uncharted worlds of the cosmos. It certainly would explain why her grandmother's portal potion was so effective. It didn't create the world the text described. It simply provided a doorway into a world that had always been there. Connor was getting a headache trying to understand it himself. That sounds really deep and complex, but you're missing the point, he said. I'm trying to tell you that Smoky Sail Sam's fleet is headed here right now. He's planning to kill all of you and take back the heart of the Caribbean. But if you listen to us, we can help you avoid him. How? Admiral Jacobson asked. By helping me and my sister, Connor explained. I'm about to make you an offer. It's going to be hard to grasp, so we might want to sit down for this. Auburn Sally, the Admiral, and the twins took seats around the table. Do you want me to explain this part? Alex asked. I told you. I got this, Connor said, and he cleared his throat. You know the subconscious sea of the other worlds you were talking about? Well, for all intents and purposes, it does exist. There's another world out there that's in big trouble, one that I didn't write about. All of our friends live there, and a horrible army has invaded it. My sister and I are recruiting people from a bunch of different worlds to come help us fight an army. If you come with us and help us defeat them, we'll bring you right back here. Connor grinned like he was being more than generous. The captain and the admiral exchanged a puzzled look because something didn't add up. That's not an offer, Auburn Sally said. An offer is an exchange. Taking us away from our problems, making us fight for you, and then bringing us right back to our problems isn't exchanging. That's just more work for us. She does have a point, Alex said. All right, Connor said, and quickly thought about something to offer. Well, if you help us, I'll tell you how you can defeat Smoky Sail Sam. The captain and the admiral nodded as they considered it. Jacobson whispered something to Auburn Sally in her ear, like an attorney speaking with his client. So, you're telling us we can defeat Smoky Sail Sam? The captain asked, regardless of whether we help you or not. Duh, Connor said with a snort. That's the whole point of the story. Alex slapped a hand against her forehead. Her brother was oblivious to what Auburn Sally was implying. She appointed herself his attorney and pulled him aside to whisper in his ear. Connor, you basically just told them that you don't need to help them, she whispered. You need to make them an offer that they can't refuse. Oh, dang it, he said. I should never have written them to be so cunning. Thanks for the heads up. The twins turned back to the captain and the admiral. Connor let out a slow, low, menacing chuckle. Silly, silly Sally, he said. What you don't know is that the road to victory is long and tedious. There are dozens of battles, hundreds of casualties, and thousands of miles awaiting you. It takes years to learn what I could tell you in a matter of seconds. If you help us, I'll give you the shortcut to your triumph. Save you a ton of hassle. You'd be sparing your ship from a lot of damage and even saving the lives of a few of your crew members. Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson whispered between themselves again. They both knew that they would have to face Smoking Sail Sam eventually. There was no way of getting around it. If Connor could supply them with the information on how to do it efficiently, they'd have to consider his offer seriously. They turned to the twins and presented a counteroffer. We'll help you if you help us defeat Smoking Sail Sam first, Auburn Sally said. Connor was about to rip his hair out. He silently vowed to never write another smart character into one of his stories ever again. Deal, he said through a clenched jaw. Connor and Auburn and Sally shook hands over the table. Alex wasn't convinced the captain and the admiral were being truthful and pulled her brother aside one final time. How do you know they're being honest? She whispered. Because I wrote them to be just as trustworthy as they are calculating, he said. And I'll remind them about that in the shipwreck sequel. Let's discuss the details of our victory over dinner, Auburn Sally said. I'm famished. Negotiating always gives me an appetite. It had been hours since their last meal, so the twins were glad to hear it. The captain rang a bell, and a few moments later, Fish Lips Lucy entered the chambers pushing a cart with several covered serving trays. The quarters filled with a delectable aroma, and the twins began salivating, and their stomachs growled. Connor, what did you write for dinner? Alex asked. Tomato soup, mashed potatoes, and rosary chicken. Wait, hold on. Tomato soup. Nope. Tomato soup, mashed potatoes, and rosary chicken, Connor said and licked his lips. Rosary chicken? She asked. Did you mean rotisserie chicken? Oh no, he said fearfully. Fish Lips Lucy uncovered the largest serving tray, and rather than a delicious roasted chicken, she revealed a live chicken wearing a Catholic rosary. The chicken panicked and fluttered amok around the chamber, squawking loudly, shedding feathers wherever she went. Auburn Sally gave Fish Lips Lucy a dirty look. The chicken seems a little undercooked, she said. Sorry, Captain, Fish Lips Lucy said. I knew I was forgetting something. Suddenly, Siren Sue burst into the chambers, causing everyone to jump and forget about the chicken. Her eyes grew large, and she was out of breath, like she had just come in a hurry. Forgive my intrusion, Captain, Siren Sue huffed. I saw smoke rising on the horizon behind the ship. I inspected it and saw a fleet of ships coming this way. Smoky Sail Sam is following us. The captain, the admiral, and the twins stood up so fast that they knocked the silverware and the plates off the table. Auburn Sally darted to the large windows in the back of her chambers and looked through a telescope beside her desk. It's Smoking Sail Sam, all right, the captain said, and then jerked her head toward Connor. I thought you said we had till morning. He racked his brain trying to figure out why they were so early. Well, it's because I rushed the battle, he said. There was smoke in the sky earlier than there should have been. You and the Admiral were supposed to exchange a lot more witty banter before the first cannon fired. I accidentally gave Smoking Sail Sam a head start. Auburn Sally put on her hat and coat immediately and went to damage control mode. Lucy and Sue, tell the women to drop the sails at once, she ordered. I want every candle and lantern on this ship extinguished. Will be harder to follow in darkness. Also, free the sailors from the cells. If they want to survive, they'll need to join the crew. The pirates nodded and ran out of the chambers to inform the others. Auburn Sally hurried out on the deck, and the twins and Jacobson followed. She wrapped her hands around the Dalai Lama's wheel and looked to Connor. Well, she asked, what do we need to do to defeat Smoky Sail Sam? It's not what, it's where, he said. We need to head west immediately, sail through the Parakeet Islands and past the Isle of Skulls. The captain didn't waste a moment asking questions. She spun the wheel so hard to the right that it almost broke off. Connor, where are you taking us? Alex asked. Starboardia, he said. Dun, dun, dun. Starboardia, in case anyone has forgotten, is the name of his story. So, you know, importante.
Muy importante.
Muy importante. All right, I will see you all later. Remember, no book club tomorrow because I'll be running a race. That's all. Bear Pope meets Pope Chicken. I'm never gonna let Bear Pope go. We're still gonna. I think it could be a great TV show.
Oh, 100%. Everybody loves Bear Pope.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a Bear Pope.
Everybody loves a Bear Pope, apparently. Yes, Tiffany, it will all be up after this. I think there's only one missing right now.
What's missing?
One, I have to upload, Wednesday's book club and then today's book club. All right, I will see you all later. It's time for breakfast and work.
Breakfast.
Workfest. Bye, guys.